me about, Speaker. All I can say is we'll do whatever's best for the country and for the Republican Party. We'll stand for great people.
We only have one choice to save America, Alex, and it's President Trump. I'm going into this next speaker's race, and the only candidate I am supporting is Donald John Trump.
The extreme MAGA Republicans are in full control of the GOP, as shown by the fact that they ousted their own leader for the first time in history. And then none other than Marjorie Taylor Greene is calling for the replacement to be none other than Donald Trump. Yes, my name is Dina Sayegh Doll with the Meidas Touch Network. Let's break this down. Now, she evidently thinks that the only person who can do this job, not just the best person, but she says the only person who can do this job is the criminally indicted Donald Trump. This is where we're at in America. This is where the MAGA Republicans are at. It's shocking. It would be funny if the consequences wouldn't be so devastating. If your neighbor's house is on fire, it can burn your house down. And that is where we're at with the GOP in Congress. Now, let's look at what she tweeted out exactly. She says, the only candidate for speaker I am currently supporting is President Donald J. Trump. He will end the war in Ukraine. He will secure the border. He will end the politically weaponized government. He will make America energy independent again. He will pass my bill to stop transgender surgeries on kids and keep men out of women's sports. He will support our military and police and so much more. He has proven 4-year record as President of the United States of America. He received a record number of Republican votes of any Republican presidential candidate. We can make him speaker and then elect him president. He will make America great again. Let's digest this. First of all, that list of things he will do, evidently. First of all, he didn't do anything like that, even close when he was president. I don't think he would be able to do that as speaker, considering he's terrible at the job as president. And I actually think Speaker of the House might be a harder job. There's actually a lot of rules you have to follow. You have to actually govern the House. So let's just set that aside for a moment and talk about the fact that this, we talk about how it's like a cult at this point, this allegiance to him, despite the facts and the reality. And when you hear her, she, speaking with Alex Jones, talks about, and even in this tweet, how he's the only person for the job, is startling. And how can you not? The way she talks about him is as if he is a cult figure. It's like yet another piece of evidence. You have so many Republicans in this country. The idea that he's the only one who can be speaker and the only one that can be president is similar to how you talk about a cult leader, that they are the only ones who understand an organization and therefore the only ones that can lead it. It's not only wrong, but it's kind of startling to hear when you're not, let's say, brainwashed into that cult as she is. But I don't even know if she believes it. I mean, I guess members of the cult can believe it, or if she just is so badly trying to hang on to power. Because the fact is, her and Matt Gaetz, as we know, have been buddy-buddy over the years. They've gone out fundraising, the two of them, multiple times around the country. And her BFF is now on really the outs with the Republican Party. His own fellow Florida delegation is really upset with him because they didn't want Kevin McCarthy taken down as speaker. There was only these 8 MAGA Republicans who wanted to be taken down. So he's kind of gone even lower on the rung. And then the other man that she had allegiance to, Kevin McCarthy, is no longer in power. So her kind of alliances she made are no longer going to serve her. And so the alliance that she's holding on to very strong right now is her alliance with Donald Trump. And her statement, this adoration statement that he's the only one who can save us, right? That's what she's saying. He's the only one who can save us right now. You might as well be literally kissing his feet. But you know what? It works for him. And let's play the clip of what he says outside the courtroom, because we know he's in the middle of his fraud civil trial, in New York. He's already lost his business licenses, which means there was enough fraud for the judge to just take them away in summary judgment, which is so rare for that to happen. The facts were that bad. And now it's just a matter of asking how much he owes. Is he going to owe the full $250 million? This is where he's at. He's speaking on these steps about talking about the fact that members of his party want him to be Speaker of the House in the middle of all this.
A lot of people have been calling me about Speaker. All I can say is we'll do whatever's best for the country and for the Republican Party. There's some great people. I just want to say we have some great people.
Would you take the job?
A lot of people have asked me about it. I'm focused. We're leading. I don't know you. I'm sure you don't read too much in the papers, but we're leading by like 50 points for president. My focus is totally on that. If I can help them during the process, I would do it. But we have some great people in the Republican Party that could do a great job as Speaker.
Well, what about
Marjorie
you?
Taylor Greene called for you to be Speaker yesterday. Did you see that?
Yeah, I think she's a wonderful woman, Marjorie, and a lot of other people are called for that too. I'll do whatever it is to help, but my total focus is being president.
So you see there, Trump gives her what she wants. He says that she's a wonderful woman, which to him is the highest compliment. And so that means for now, she's going to be in his good graces. We know loyalty isn't his strong suit, so she might cross him and he might change his mind. But this is why she does it. This is why so many in the Republican Party are still willing to stick with him, despite the fact that he lost the election in 2020, despite the fact that he lied to the public and he helped an insurrection. It is because of that kind of a simple compliment. They are willing to not step aside and tell the truth about him. Let's put up the image of Marjorie Taylor Greene talking to Alex Jones today about Donald Trump being the next Speaker of the House. This is the image of where the Republican Party is today, how extreme it is. Alex Jones, the one who lied about the fact that elementary school children were shot at in their school. This really disgusting conspiracy theorist is sitting here talking and trying to plan with Marjorie Taylor Greene with all her discussing conspiracy theories she's told in the past about who our next Speaker of the House is going to be, the third most powerful person in our country. Are these the ones that we think are responsible enough to govern? I mean, absolutely not. But, thank goodness there's something called the law. It seems like she hasn't looked into it, but her idea of making her cult leader become the third most powerful person in the world just because she wants it, or maybe other MAGA Republicans want it. It's not how it goes. Just like when you lose an election, you actually lose an election. There is something called House rules. And the House rules make it very clear that if you are indicted, you're not allowed to be a speaker of your conference or leader of your conference. And it's not only a House rule, it's also a GOP rule. And it is possible maybe that the GOP could change their own rules if they want, if they have enough numbers to elect him as their speaker. Theoretically, they have enough numbers to change their own conference rules. But it's not just the conference, their own conference rules, the Republican conference rules, it's the House rules. And it's this little thing called the law that she may have overlooked. And let me read it so it's really clear to everyone. It says, a member, delegate, or resident commissioner who has been indicted, we know he's got quite a few indictments, Donald Trump there, who has been indicted for or otherwise formally charged with criminal conduct in any federal, check, state, check, or local court punishable as a felony, check, for which a sentence of 2 or more years imprisonment, check, may be imposed, should resign from any standing, select, joint, or ad hoc committee and any subcommittee thereof on which such member, delegate, or resident commissioner serves, and should step aside from any party, caucus, or conference leadership position. And there we go. So clearly, I mean, they would not only have to change their own conference rules, which has something very similar. It's called a Rule 26, temporary set aside of a member of leadership who is indicted. And the Republicans also say that if a member is indicted, then they will have to have somebody else serve in that position temporarily. Again, their own conference rules could probably be changed, but whether or not they actually have enough votes for the whole House rules to change is very suspect. But she doesn't even bring up these points in her multiple tweets, in her discussions with Alex Jones, because the law doesn't matter, as we know, as we've heard for them. When they want something, when they believe something to be true, that is enough for these MAGA Republicans. And so we have to then really ask ourselves, is Marjorie Taylor Greene really going to self-destruct in a way that is going to catch our house on fire? Or is there going to be some sort of consensus leader who's going to get us through this? We know that the MAGA Republicans are so upset that Kevin McCarthy did his basic job by passing a stopgap measure. It wasn't even a full resolution that was fully going to fund our government. It was literally a stopgap measure that was going to just give us 6 weeks delay. This basic function of his position was evidently so upsetting they had to oust him. And asking for Donald Trump to be the Speaker of the House is a surefire way of stopping government, which is what these MAGA Republicans apparently want. And unfortunately, because they are in the majority right now, we are all going to be suffering in the process as they burn their house down. My name is Dina Sayegh Doll with the Meidas Touch Network. Thanks for listening.
At Meidas Touch, we are unapologetically pro-democracy, and we demand justice and accountability. That's why we're spreading our message to Convict 45. That's right, gear up right now with your Convict 45 tees and pins at store.meidastouch.com. That's store.meidastouch.com.